Okay, let's get started making our mini album. This is the third project using Gingham Farm from my mind's eye, and I should have just shown you the preview, so I'm not going to go over it again. We'll just get into it. I have two 12 by 12 sheets of black artisan cardstock here. Oh, it does not want to come out. Hang on a second. There we go. Whoops. Now I have more than I need. Okay. I apologize right now for any noise in the background. I've got both of my kittens in here. Okay, we're gonna just seam these together. And I like to just line up one of them with one of the lines on my craft mat. Whoops. Let's try that again. Okay. And then just line this one up as well. Okay. Now normally, I don't know if I should say normally, but most of the time I line up the spine of the seam in my paper on the spine, but today I'm going to put it on the back of the album in the interest of saving paper. And you can see I've got some seep out, but that's fine, it'll dry clear. Okay, so I have my chipboard all cut. I'm trying to find my ruler. All right. Literally just measured this. What did I do with it? Here it is. Okay. So this is my spine piece is 1 1/4 by 9, and these are 6 1/2 by 9. Okay, so you need two 6 1/2 by 9, one 1 1/4 by 9. Okay. And unlike the way I usually do things, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the first piece here, about 1 inch in from the end, and then the spine, and then the second piece, and that will leave us a nice big piece to work with left over. Okay, so I'm going to get these taped up and be right back. So I have got these taped. Whoop. That doesn't want to come off. And one more. There we go. All right, and now I want to put this, let's see, about 1 inch. That's in. Just kind of eyeballing. No, that's not going to work. I've got a clear plastic ruler, but I don't really like it very much. See, because hang on, I'm off to one side here. All right, so I am that That's about right. And I'm just going to put this down, and I've got about 1.5 inches top and bottom rather than my usual inch, but that's just because of the size of the paper, and I'm fine with that. Okay. There we go. And then, let's see, looking for my tape. Get this out of the way. Grab my tape. And I'm going to get rid of some of these. Oops, sorry, that's my microphone cord. And I'm just going to run a 1/4 inch piece of score tape right there, just to act as a spacer. If you feel like you don't need it, then by all means just go ahead and eyeball. Okay. And I'm just removing the backing from the tape on the spine piece. And I'm going to take my ruler and lay it across. I like this blue ruler because it's so easy to see the markings, and I just like that it's a metal ruler. It just seems more, whoa, I didn't get that straight at all. Hang on. Yeah, don't let go of your, yikes, pieces until you know they're down. Okay, let's get that straight. There we go. I was distracted telling you how much I like my ruler, and I dropped my piece. Okay, there we go. And now we'll do let me get these out of the way. When you have such a small work surface, you have to keep it pretty neat. Okay. Okay, and this piece, if I had the full sheets of score tape, well, the 8.5 by 11s, I'd be using them, but I don't have any, so I just used tape. Could have used glue in the middle, but I just wanted to use score tape. Okay. These out of the way. Go. All right. Sorry, I'm not used to this microphone wire, and I keep getting caught up in it. Let me get rid of some of these things here. Done with that. Okay. There we go. And let's see. I guess I could pull. Pull that up. You could leave it, but I always forget it, so I figure I might as well do it now. And let's could use that, but that's wider. Let me pull this one out. I'm just marking my 1 inch to cut off the extra cardstock. Okay, you don't have to be super fussy about it. That super straight, but good enough. Okay. Put that aside. We will use it again. And let's grab our tape. I like to tape before I cut. So I'm just going to run. If you have 3/8, it would probably be better for this, but I don't have any 3/8. I'm out of it. So I am using the 1/4. And you can see I'm not going all the way into the corners. I hope you can see I'm not going all the way into the corners because I'm going to be cutting those corners off. So it's not necessary. This a little so I can see it better. Well, still didn't get quite to the edge, but that's all right. It's going to be covered. I think I mentioned a little while ago that I started a new job recently. And I got my vision insurance cards this week, which I'm extremely excited about because I need new glasses. And I will be getting them. Okay. Go. All right, and let's burnish our tape down. Okay, I'm going to cut approximately a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to leave a little gap here equal to about the height of my chipboard. Maybe a little more. Bend these up, get the paper going where I want it. Go. And let's start with the long edge. And I think okay. Okay, and I always pull these up a little bit. If I've done my corners right, it shouldn't run into them, but just for safety's sake, I pull them out of the way. And I'm just going to run, whoops, a little bit of glue along there. And I'm just going to put a little extra since my paper's a little wide. Okay. Go. Let's do the other long side. Pull that over. It really does not take very long to make the cover, but I always feel like it's an endless process. Helps take the pin out. Okay, go. Oh, forgot before I pulled that off. Because I like push these little corners in. Sometimes I use my fingers, sometimes I use my scissors. It's just a matter of taking that little straight bit that comes up and off and tucking it in. Okay. And I'm not going to bother with extra glue on these end pieces because they are 1 inch, which is what they're supposed to be. Go. And let's do this one. And I didn't mention it, if you've probably seen me do it a million times if you watch my channel, but when I'm wrapping the book, the cover, I always start in the middle, you know, wrap it over and press down the middle and then work your way out. That way you don't trap any wrinkles in the paper. You can press them out as you go. Okay. Now, this book, most of the time when I'm wrapping a cover, because I center the seam on the spine, I have no front or back. I can choose whichever one I want for the front or back, but this one has a seam right down the center back, so this is going to be the back. All right, and then I'm just taking my Teflon bone folder here and working this paper down into that groove and catching it on the adhesive that's there, and then you can sort of make sure you get a nice crisp edge there. And just fold it up. See how nice and neat that looks? Love this artisan cardstock. Okay. Okay. Just press that. Okay. There's our book. Good size book, not too big, but bigger than I usually make, and the spine is a good size. Okay. A finished cover. All right. Looks good. And just play with it a little bit, get it nice and flexible. There. Now this book, which you've already seen the finished one, which I haven't made it yet, so I haven't seen it, but you have. We're just going to do 2 pages in this book. So we might as well go ahead and make the pages. And so for each page, you know what, let me get them cut and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, I am back. And for your pages, let me show you what you need. You need 2 pieces 6 inches wide by 8.5 inches long. So 6 by 8.5. And then you need 2 pieces 6 by 9.5. And you want to take the 9.5 piece and score it at 1/2 inch at each end. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and snip the corners off those tabs. Go. I love these little cutter bee scissors for these kind of smaller tasks, and I'm pretty sure you can get these at Country Craft Creations along with all the rest of the supplies for all of these projects that I've made in this series of 3. Alright, so I'm just putting a little glue. You could use score tape for this, certainly. Okay. And then you just want to line up one edge. Sorry, I'm just picking it up so I can see it. Okay. Okay. And then just place glue on the other edge on the tab. And my pen. And then just fold that over. Oops, got a little glue on it. Okay, fold that over, line it up. Again, I'm picking it up just so I can see it. And I know I've mentioned a million times my paper trimmer doesn't cut particularly accurately around the 6-inch mark. So, but that looks pretty good. And I often get this bubble, and I'm sure it's just my fault, but it is not a big deal. Just really burnish everything well, and it should go away. And even if it doesn't go away, it'll be fine in the end. But I have found that once you just burnish everything flat, it takes care of that. Okay, so make 2 of these. Okay. Oh, I should go to bed. Okay, what have I got? I got 8.5, right? So we're going to make our spine piece 3.5 by 8 3/8. 3.5 by 8 3/8. All right, so we have our measurement, 3.5 by 8 3/8. Okay, this will end up with a piece that will exactly fit the size of our spine. But I like some of it, or in this case at least, I want some of it to hang over onto the front and back cover. And I typically like that to be about 2 inches. So I need to add 4 inches to this measurement, right? So that's going to be 7.5 by 8 3/8. Okay? And then we're going to score it. So let me go ahead and grab that piece. Okay. Oops, hit my light. Okay, so here's our piece. So if you remember, I left myself 2-inch overhang, right? Which I don't have to score. And then I have that first 1/2 inch that's flat, so 2.5 inches, and I'm going to score. Okay, then I need 1/2 inch, and then 1/2 inch, so that's 3 and 3.5. Actually, I think I scored it at 3 and I did. I scored it in the wrong spot. All right, go back. No. All right, so I'm going back just so to make it clear again. So we have our 2-inch space that's going to overhang. Then we have our extra little 1/2 inch. Okay, so then we have a 1/2 inch at 3 and a 1/2 inch at 3.5. So that's our first page. Then we go to 4, that's a space. Okay, then we're going to go to 4.5 and 5. That's our second page. Then we have a 1/2 inch that's going to be just flat. Whoops, you don't really have to score. And then another 2 inches. Okay, so let me get that out of the way. Okay, so this we're gonna not fold. You know what? Let me put tape so you can tell what I'm doing here. So we're gonna go in the 2 inches. We're gonna skip that first little section, and I'm gonna put tape in this next section. Okay, and then skip the next one and the next one, and then put tape in the next one. You could use glue for this, but I like to use tape. And I also prefer to use scissors, which I should have probably used. I always make a mess when I try to tear this tape. Okay. All right. So then, let's see. We are going to fold. Fold it back. Now you don't have to score that first little flat 1/2 inch if you don't want to. I did it just kind of to make it easier to see, but honestly on this black I don't think you can see it anyway. Okay. All right. So then let's go ahead and hold the tape and just squeeze that together. Okay. So then this next little 1/2 inch is flat. Okay. And then I'm going to fold that back, okay, like that, and then fold this one. I always feel like it's so awkward to do this on camera. So what you're just making is 2 peaks, like so, okay. So let's go ahead and pull that out. Then I'm going to really burnish these and work them back and forth. If you want your pages in your book to move freely, the more you work these, the better. Okay. Now, to put this in our book, all right, we want to take, and this is where I do wish I had the wider score tape, but I don't. So I'm just running this along that seam where the fin comes together. Okay. And then on the other side of that seam, Right. I was watching Ginger Rupp, one of my favorite teachers, my sister Scrapper, not all that long ago, and she said that she finds if she tapes this way without taping right where the seam is, she feels like the pages move more freely. Okay. I'm at here. Okay, and I'm going to put another piece there. If you had 3/8 inch, that would, you wouldn't have to worry about it, but I don't have any 3/8 inch, so. Okay, and then I'm going to put that there. I used to have some 1-inch score tape, and that was very handy, but I run out and never reordered it. It was good for these kind of things. Just, my table is wiggling a little, and sorry, just moving that. That's my silhouette that's banging against the wall and making that noise. It's probably driving you crazy. Here. Okay. Finish all these. And I'm going to take this one off because I need to put one more piece here. I realize this is quite gigantic for a spine, for such a small spine, but if you don't want the full 2-inch overhang, you could certainly make yours smaller. Okay, go. It's not the sharp one. There we go. mess with all that tape. Okay, so now, make sure that's clean. Let me see, I just realized one of my lights is not on. Okay, and let's see if we can, we want to center this. Top to bottom and side to side. Just put that down lightly so that I can shift it somewhat. That looks good. All right. Okay. And go ahead and burnish that up. Here. Okay. Okay. That's a lot of bulk in those in here, but it's fine. We'll just play with it some and you'll get it. Okay. There. Now we just want to attach our pages, so we might as well go ahead and do that before we finish for the day, and then we will come back in part 2 and put in all the parts, the pockets and waterfalls and whatnot. And again, I am using score tape. If you feel like you'd rather use liquid glue, by all means, do that. And I am putting the tape more to the top of the page, excuse me, of the fin, because I don't want my pages to sit all the way down to the base of the spine, because they'll move more freely if they don't. And this is kind of our last chance to really work these fins back and forth, so let's do that. Alright. And these are shorter than the pages, so you don't really have to trim the corners. I may anyway, just because I like to do it that way. Although that's going on pretty easily, so. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay, and as you can see, well, you'll see when I put the pages in, there, you could make your pages wider if you wanted to. I made them 6 inches for 2 reasons. One, to save you paper. If I made them wider, you'd have had to use 4 sheets of paper instead of 2. And also, so that we could put some good sized side pocket inserts and things sticking off the edges. All right, so I've pulled off one piece of tape, or the back of one piece of tape, I should say. And we're just sliding the page down, almost, but not all the way down. Just lightly press that. Looks good. Okay. And then we'll just reach in there with our tool and take the backing off the tape. And there we go. That's our first page. Okay. And then we're going to do the second page. same thing, slide it all the way, but not all the way, excuse me, but almost all the way. And I'm also lining it up with the page we just did. Make sure it looks nice and straight. Okay. Here we go. All right, so we have made our cover and put our 2 pages in. Okay, and go ahead and get rid of some of this stuff and wrap this up. Okay, there we go. So it looks really good. All right, so next time we will add our items to our pages and get started with the matting and hopefully finish the matting. And then there'll probably be a third video where we do embellishing. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching this project featuring Gingham Farm from my mind's eye, this design team project for Country Craft Creations. You can get all of the supplies there, and I will link it down below. You should probably also join the Facebook group, Scrapworkers of Country Craft Creations. We have so much fun there, and there are live tutorials, all free, of course. And that's Scrapworkers of Country Craft Creation on Facebook. Facebook. Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed this video, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video in the series. Bye-bye.